The Irish film Once is without a doubt one of the most iconic movies of my life. It's not just a film I watch every St. Patrick's Day, it's a story that found me when I needed it most. A film that in many ways changed me. I first saw Once in a tiny art house theater in Brunswick, Maine, just north of Portland. I was on a business trip, and by pure luck, I ended up in this small, intimate space, sitting on an old couch, completely immersed in the film's raw, poetic beauty. This wasn't your typical Hollywood musical. Once directed by John Carney on a shoestring budget, redefined what a movie musical could be. There were no grand, elaborate set pieces, just a man, a woman, and the undeniable power of music. Glen Hansard, already known for his work in The Frames and the Irish cult classic film The Commitments, directed by Alan Parker, starred as the passionate street musician, while Marketa Grova played the quiet but deeply moving pianist who crosses his path. The story is simple. A vacuum repairman and a Czech immigrant form an unlikely bond through music. But that simplicity isn't what makes it so real. Their connection is built in harmonies and shared struggles which resonated with me. Maybe it was because I too felt like something was missing in my life at the time. Watching their journey unfold through melodies that felt like whispered confessions, I saw pieces of myself in this story. From the soundtrack, Falling Slowly, a song that took home the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 2008, a song that has in many ways defined my own love story. A year after seeing Once, I met a woman who would later become my wife. And when I introduced her to the film, she fell in love with it just as much as I did. And then soon, Falling Slowly wasn't just a song we admired, it became our song. Our wedding song. Once didn't stop there. It was adapted into a Broadway musical, winning 8 Tony Awards, starring Kristen Minotti, who now plays Sophia Falcone on The Penguin. And let me tell you, if you were lucky enough to see it early enough, you could step on stage, have a pint, and for a brief moment, you can become a part of that story, an extra during the interlude. My wife and I did just that, and it remains one of the most surreal and beautiful moments of our lives. Then came Swell Season, the real-life band formed by Hansard and Glova after the film. When they toured the U.S., we made sure to see them perform live at the Orange Peel in Asheville, North Carolina. Standing in the crowd, hearing our song played by the very people who first brought it to life, it felt like fate. It felt like Once had followed me, weaving itself into the fabric of my life in ways I never expected. And the director John Carney didn't stop with Once. He went on to direct Begin Again with Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo, which explored the transformative power of music in New York City. Then came Sing Street, a coming-of-age gem set in 1980s Dublin, capturing the spirit of youth and the escapism of music. And most recently, he directed Flora and Son, a heartfelt film about a single mother in Dublin discovering a new connection through music. Each film carried the same heart, the same love for storytelling, and the same magic that made Once unforgettable. This little indie film, made on a budget of barely $150,000, captured the hearts around the world. Because at its core, Once is about connection. It's about music bringing people together. It's about those rare fleeting moments that change everything. That's why every St. Patrick's Day, I don't just celebrate with Guinness and good food. I celebrate Once, because for me, Irish culture isn't just about parades and shamrocks. It's about storytelling. It's about the music that lingers long after the last note fades. And Once, well, it's a story that will always be a part of mine. And so if you've never seen this film, do yourself a favor, find a quiet space, sit down and let it wash over you. You just might find a piece of yourself in it. Because in the end, Once isn't just a film. It's a pot of gold. Thank you for going on this film journey with me. And as always, be real.